The system is the secret. The magic is the method. The process is the prize. The hammer is the habit. The habit is the hammer. I'm Bradley Charbonneau, and this is Thursday Thunder. I'm improvising this. My camera's over there. I have no notes, and we're going to see how this goes. Just for fun, I'm going to do a second version of the same message later on a computer and sort of reading from a prompt. Ready? Watch that one too. Here we go. Where did we start out? Was it the magic is the method, or the method is the magic? What will it be? The process is the prize. The hammer holds the habit. Or is it the habit is the hammer? You following where I'm going? Are you seeing where I'm going with this? Because if the process is the prize, then today I'm practicing. In fact, I just told you I'm practicing. And I even enlightened you or intrigued you or piqued your interest by saying, I'm going to go do another version of this. So what am I doing? I'm practicing. I'm out here practicing the magic because the system is the secret. The system is the secret. You know, they're always talking about the secret. What's the secret to this? What's the secret to that? And often we're looking for the big goal. What's the secret to running the marathon? What's the secret to writing a book? What's the secret to, I don't know, enlightenment? Right? What if we talked about like health, creativity, and spirituality? How can we achieve or succeed or improve in health, creativity, and spirituality? Let's take health. Let's take running. What if the running, what if not the, oh, here we go. Here, you ready? Do you know I love alliteration? What if the mile is the medal? Woohoo! The mile is the medal, right? Not the marathon is the medal. The mile is the medal. Today I'm going to run the mile. It's a good thing I still know like American measurement systems. Otherwise I'd have to find a K word for kilometer. The kilometer is the killer. The kilometer is the kryptonite? No, that's a C. It's still alliteration though. The mile is the medal. I'm out here today doing a mile. Is this a TED Talk? Am I on stage in front of 1,000 people? No, but I'm probably in front of 1,000 animals. I just can't see them all. Who's your audience, right? My audience is me. And then I know I always connect with my audience. And I do it on a daily basis. Daily basis in shorts or in posts or in whatever it is you're doing. Whatever you're creating, if your audience is you, you always connect with your audience. What if the mile is the medal? The mile is the method. Are we having fun playing with words here? Are you feeling where I'm going? Because if you're there on marathon day, you know, the Saturday morning, you got the fancy shoes, you told everybody to come, and there you are, and you're like, oh, I didn't, I'm sorry, excuse me, I didn't actually, practice. I didn't actually run the mile. I just showed up for the marathon. How's that going to go? The mile is the method. The mile is the medal. I like that. M-E-D-A-L, right? Just to be clear. Although it could be metal, because it's the building block. The mile is the metal that builds the house. All right. See where we're going? All right, what were we talking about here? We're going to see how I can come back to my 3 points I had, like health, creativity, and spirituality. Ready? That was health, mile and method and medal, and we're going to run daily. That's it. So what's your goal, right? Is your goal the mile? Or for us non-Americans, the kilometer 0.6, whatever it is, right? The little bit, the tiny win, the just lace up the shoes. That's the start. That's the routine or the trigger or the ritual that's going to get that habit started, habit stacking, right? You're going to put on the shoes. What does that mean? Oh, I'm putting on my running shoes. Oh, wow, gee, maybe I should go run a mile or a kilometer. All right, there we go. Let's get into creativity. Now here, what do we got? We've got, I want to write a book. Great, I want to write a book, or I want to do a TED Talk, or I want to give a presentation, or I want to be a keynote speaker, Or I want to be a teacher or a professor, or I have this big goal. Are you practicing? Is the practice, I'm going to go back to one of my old chapters, practice is perfect. Not practice makes perfect, that would make perfection the goal. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe the goal is perfection. In fact, I don't really even believe in perfection. I believe in the practice. What am I doing right here today? I'm out here in the woods. There's Pepper, if you can still see him. And we're practicing because the practice is the perfection. The practice is the goal, right? Just like the mile is the method or the mile is the medal, the practice is the goal. The magic is in the method. I'm not going to, if you know me, you know I'm not going to go away from my alliteration. If I can find some awesome alliteration, I'm going to go for it. The magic is the method. The secret is the system. So what am I going to do? I'm going to come out here every single week and record a video. If you've been watching this, this is my year 6. This is season 6 of weekly Thursday Thunder videos. Is this a TED Talk? No. Is this a 1,000 people audience? No, I've already gone through that, right? I'm practicing, and the practice is the perfect. You want to write a book? Start with a word, then a sentence, then a paragraph, then maybe a few paragraphs, and now you got a page, and stop for the day. That's it. I've got a little hint on what you can do and how you can get your first book done, and I'll talk about that at the end. All right, where are we heading? Where are we heading? We're into spirituality. Now, I had these 3 awesome alliterative examples, and I'm going to show you those when I do my read from the teleprompter version of this talk, because I can't remember what the third one was, but it was really good. It was something. I know the hammer holds the something. The hammer holds the habit. That might have been that, but the third one was really good, and I can't remember what it is. But let's go with creativity. Spirituality. Now here, we could say the meditation is the method. So what do we want with spirituality? We want more purpose. We want, prize. Was something sorry, I see somebody over there. The practice is the prize. How about that? The practice is the prize. I like that. So I meditate daily. And if anybody were to force me to say, Bradley, if you could only tell me one thing to do, one thing that you recommend I do on a daily basis, what is that? It would be meditation. And I'm not going to get into all the different kinds of meditation. Just do whatever works for you. Basically, the idea is just zen, chill, try to clear your mind. It's impossible, but just go for it. So what is the goal here with meditation? Do I want to be spiritually enlightened? Do I want to have an out-of-body experience? Sure. That's like the marathon. That's the fun stuff. Have I had those? Absolutely. Do they happen when I try, and when I try harder and I push it and I make the big day? No, it usually happens unexpectedly. And that's the beauty of also compound growth, compound interest. And by the way, that's a little bonus item here. Compound growth or compound interest in financial terms, right? You put in your money every time, and it doesn't just grow at a linear growth curve or linear line. I guess a linear isn't curve. It grows exponentially, meaning you put in your daily practice of your running or your creating or your meditating, and at some point it's going to take off. And it's not mathematical in the sense that it is predictable, like when that jump is going to occur, but I can almost guarantee, isn't almost guarantee fun? I can almost guarantee that at some point, and ideally when you're not expecting it, the growth is going to jump exponentially. So you're going to click and you're going to feel that run, and you're going to run that extra mile, right? Or you're going to click and you're going to get into flow and you're going to write that extra chapter, or you've got the new idea for the book. And when and how does this happen? It happens if and only if, there's a great mathematical equation there, IFF, look it up, it's fun. IFF, if and only if, or when and only when. So you're not going to get the big goal unless you've put in the little work. You're not going to get the big success unless you've had the little wins. And that one I can pretty much guarantee. With the tiny exception of the unicorns, right? Who it's their very first book. They wrote it in a weekend and it hits the bestsellers. Great, that's awesome. But that's like the chances of me becoming an NBA player. Actually, that's probably a little smaller. So spirituality, my goal is the daily practice, is the daily meditation practice. Sometimes I do shorter, sometimes I do longer. When I go longer meditation, it works better. What a surprise. And so building on that, you build up the momentum, and your growth eventually is growing exponentially. Eventually exponentially. Ooh, having fun today, huh? Eventually exponentially. Cool, right? That's the beauty and the power of compound growth. Pepper! Did I mention unexpected stuff? Pepper's barking at somebody. Pepper doesn't bark at too many people. All right, I might cut that out. I'm going to see how my timing is doing. Compound interest. That's actually sort of a secret benefit you're getting here. The secret is the system. But if you remember that also the compound interest, compound growth, the exponential growth, the eventual exponential growth is kind of the secret goal that I don't want you to hope for or strive for, but just sort of know it's going to happen and be ready for when it comes. You're like, yes! That's like flow state or running. That's when you're just cruising, or in spiritual world, it's just like you connect, right? Okay, that's it. If I were to offer a one action point that you could do, I would love to invite you to the one challenge. And the idea of this, if you know my stuff, you know I'm doing this for years. And it's not even a one-word book. I used to call it a one-word book. It's not a one-word book. Although there is one chapter and it has one word in it. And that's your sort of North Star, your guiding light for the year. Right? There's a lot around it. It's a bigger program. It gets very deep. It gets psychological. It gets spiritual. It gets practical. There's a lot of elements in there on, it's very much Repossible subtitle, right? Very much, who will you be next? So why am I saying this? Because if you were looking for one thing to do, one tiny win for that bigger win, I can recommend the one challenge. You can go to repossible.com/one, O-N-E, to find out more. Okay? There we have it. Now, as I said, I'm going to wrap this up. And as I said, I'm going to do another version of this at home with where I can read more from it, sort of a teleprompter. And we're going to see how this goes. Also, as you know, I coach public speaking and presenting and presentations. I do stand-up comedy. I do improv comedy. And I'm also president of Toastmasters 2 times over. And I'm very much into public speaking and how to present better. So I'm going to do another version at home with me reading, and it's going to be more rehearsed and scripted. And I would love to hear your feedback on what you think of the difference of the two. Okay? There we go. What do we have? What's the secret? The secret is the system. What's the magic? The magic is the method. What does the hammer do? The hammer is the habit. There's one more I'm missing, and I'm going to get it to you later in the other one, okay? Hammer, habit, mile is the metal. I like that one. Mile is the metal. Secret is the system. All right, we're gonna get it. Watch the other one and let me know what you think. And let me know if you have any more. If you have some, I really like. It's got to be alliterative, right? It's got to be alliteration. So, what works for you? What makes that happen? What is that tiny little goal that is your true goal, and the bigger one is the bigger one? Okay, I gotta go. Pepper's barking at people. Hey, Thursday Thunder. Make it a great day. Bye for now. See you next week.